The views and opinions expressed on the Morning Buzz are not necessarily those of 389 Country Advertisers, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, or Google Podcasts.
But they should be.
This is the Morning Buzz.
Good morning, Buzzers. Your buddy Trav on the radio. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Morning Buzz here on 389 Country. Hope you guys had a great weekend. My weekend was kind of blah. Do you ever have a blah weekend? I mean, everything was fine. It was just my plans. They didn't pan out. Friday, I was here early Friday morning, and then I said, Self, I'm taking the rest of the day off. And turns out I would have had to anyway because, the internet went down and was down all day here, and when you are an internet-based radio station, that pretty much does it for you. So even when I schedule a day off, it was no different than it would have been if I hadn't scheduled the day off. But anyway, it was a fine weekend, fine, but it ended way too soon. I'm sure you feel the same. Anyway, no matter how great your weekend is, I hope somehow I'm able to make your Monday even better. And to do that, we're going to attempt to entertain you this morning with, obviously the best country music mix in Western North Carolina and chaotic news from around the world, including the crazy news story of the day. And we've got a dandy today. And as bad as we hate to, we will be taking a look at political chaos as well. All that and more over the course of the next 3 hours. But you know how it works. We can't do anything until we officially start your day. And to do that, we need Doug. All right, Doug, go ahead, my man.
Wakey, wakey, rise and shine.
Take a deep breath and relax. It's all going to be fine.
Wakey, 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 wakey.
Today is Monday. It's November 13th, and boy, we are light on the old National Day. It's World Kindness Day. Be kind to people. We should celebrate that every day. Just be kind. It doesn't take much to be kind to people. You don't have to go out of your way. A lot of times you have to go out of your way to be rude to people. Being kind, usually it's pretty natural, right? And it's National Indian Pudding Day. I know you will be celebrating. I know several people they can't wait to November the 13th for National Indian Pudding Day. And on this day in history, back in 1940, the animated film Fantasia had its first public screening, and it became one of Disney's more controversial works, derided for its portentousness and praised for its stunning visual virtuosity. I've never watched that and thought, boy, this is controversial. It is a little weird, but I don't think it's controversial. And with that, we take a look at weather, and you know what that means. It's time to fire up the band. A 1 and a 2, and away we go.
Oh, I used to get wet. I used to sweat. I used to get caught outside in the rain and snow. But now I'm warm and dry. Please don't follow me from the sky. 'Cause I get my weather from the radio.
Weather brought to you by North Georgia Sign and Apparel, and we begin our weather report with a weather alert. We do have a fog advisory out. Patchy dense fog early this morning can be expected across southeast Tennessee, southwest North Carolina, and northern Georgia early this morning, mainly near lake areas and streams. When traveling, drive with caution. And here's a key: slow down. Be prepared to stop due to visibility issues. Give yourself extra distance between you and the vehicles around you. So for all you out this morning, be careful. Now let's look at the actual weather. For today, a mix of clouds and sun, high of 69 degrees, winds light and variable. Tonight, going to be another cool one. Considerable cloudiness, low of 34, winds light and variable. For your Tuesday, expect mostly cloudy skies, high of 67, winds light and variable. For your Tuesday night, cloudy, low around 40, winds light and variable. And taking a peek at Wednesday, cloudy, high of 59, winds light and variable. There's a look at your North Georgia Sign and Apparel weather forecast, so that means that we have officially started your day.
At Interstate Welding and Steel Supply, we strive for excellence in all of our products and services. From medical, food, and industrial gases, including propane, to steel, aluminum, and other metal materials, we have everything you need for your business or personal needs. Visit one of our 2 showrooms for welding equipment, truck and trailer supplies, power tools, and so much more. Our professional sales team will help you find exactly what you need. Call our Marble location at 888-613-8284 or our Blue Ridge store at 706-900-1000. Plus, you can always visit us online at interstatewelding.com.
This is the Morning Buzz.
Taking a look at the 411 for the 389. Got a Collette Ridge fire update for you. The rain did help over the weekend. Yesterday in the morning report, the Forest Service, in their release, they wanted to remind everybody, until sufficient precipitation occurs on the fire, you can expect areas of smoldering and isolated creeping. Forest floor leaf litter may continue to burn even with the high relative humidity. Heavy fuel concentrations will retain heat and serve as future heat sources. Primary fire behavior characteristics for the day continues to be limited smoldering and creeping. With little wind and or sunshine, small flames may resume in leaf litter. So just know that it may look like it's out in places, but it may smolder back up. But we really need a good heavy rain for a couple of days to help them out up there. But the rain we received over the weekend did help some. Now, switching gears, 2 major hospitals in Gaza City lost power and stopped accepting new patients yesterday as fighting between Israel Defense Forces and Hamas militants intensified near the buildings. Around 1,500 patients remain in Al-Shifa Hospital, according to the health ministry in Gaza, including dozens of newborns in neonatal intensive care. Israel has reportedly offered to evacuate the babies. In other news, we go to Ukraine now. A high-ranking Ukrainian military officer was responsible for the September 2022 Nord Stream pipeline sabotage, according to new media reports. Several nations have opened investigations into the attack, which reduced Europe's oil supply ahead of last winter. I don't know that this Roman Chervinsky is guilty. He says he's not. So, seems like I saw where a world leader said that we could get rid of that Nord Stream pipeline if we needed to. Who was that? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. And officials in Anchorage, Alaska declared a snow emergency while thousands of households entered the weekend without power after a winter storm broke records on back-to-back days last week. Snowfall totals in some areas in south-central Alaska surpassed 2 feet in the course of 48 hours. And that, dear friends, is a look at the 411 for the 389. Oh, buzzers, I hope you're having a great Monday morning as you're getting ready for your day. And, I want you to have your best day possible. And in order to do that, I try to help you out because, you may be getting ready to head out to the office, maybe the job site, maybe a store. Heck, maybe you're headed to school somewhere. Whatever the case may be, dear friends, at some point today, you're going to find yourself in the presence of those who make it abundantly clear to you that they need to be educated on the ways of this world. And when that moment happens, dear friends, I want you to look them dead in the eye and say, "Losers, I bet I'm smarter than you, and I can prove it." And then hit them with this. Did you know the smallest bone in your body is in your ear? It's true. It's true. Known as the stapes bone, this tiny bone is on average 0.09 by 0.11 inches in size. The stapes bone can be found in the middle of the ear of humans and many other animals. Did you know that? Oh, bonus! It's vital in transferring vibrations from sounds into the inner ear. Huh, who knew? And then after you have left them wowed, nay, slack-jawed with your superior knowledge, I want you to hit them with the old 1-2 punch. Look at them again and say, "Not only am I smarter than you losers, I'm funnier too." And then drop this little nugget on them. The father of 5 children had won a toy at a raffle. He called his kids together to ask which one should have the present. Who is the most obedient, he asked. Who never talks back to mother? Who does everything she says? 5 small voices answered in unison. Okay, Dad, you get the toy. Welcome back, Buzzers. It's time to take a look at sports, and we focus on Friday Night Lights. We've not been together since Friday night when Hayesville traveled to Eastern Randolph to take on the Wildcats in round 2 of the state tournament, and unfortunately for the Yellow Jackets, their season comes to a close. Eastern Randolph's attack through the air was just too much for Hayesville. The Cats end up scoring 39 points. Hayesville got 10. Isaac Chandler put the Yellow Jackets on the board with a field goal early, and then Cole Vining got the only touchdown for the Yellow Jackets of the game. It was just I was watching it, and I was kind of nervous Friday when I told you about the yards per game through the air for Eastern Randolph. And in the first quarter, Hayesville kind of managed it, but I knew it was just a matter of time. I told my wife that, they're okay with throwing 3 passes or even 8 passes that really don't gain much if they can get 3 that gain big yards, and that's what they did. So, all in all, a good season for the Yellow Jackets. Could have been even better when you look at conference play and how many wins they could have had. Several of the Yellow Jacket losses were by 1 score. They were right there in it. They could easily have gone undefeated in the conference and been the conference champions, but coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? So they end the season at 7-5, and hopefully I hope to talk to Coach Chad McClure today and let you guys hear from him tomorrow. So there you go. Football is over, and just like that, we are full-blown into basketball season. Scrimmage coming up this Thursday. I'll tell you more about that tomorrow. That's a look at sports, brought to you as always by the Clay County Recreation Department.
Looking for a way to become more active? Check out the Clay County Recreation Center. From walking and biking trails, to a workout room, to a state-of-the-art pickleball court, the Rec Center has something for all levels of physical activity. They even have an airfield for RC pilots. And don't forget about all the sports leagues for the kids. Visit the center at 333 Ballpark Drive in Hayesville, or call 828-389-0368.
This is the Morning Buzz.
Time now for our Bozo news of the day. Today we head to Louisiana, New Iberia, Louisiana to be exact. Seems our Bozo drug dealer, Dana Brock, had delivered 2 pounds of marijuana to Akeem Wilson. Well, a shocker in the drug trade world. Something went wrong, and Mr. Wilson pulled a gun on Miss Brock. So, if you are a bozo in this situation, what would you do? Call the cops, of course. The cops arrived and found 2 firearms and the pot in the apartment. However, further investigation revealed that our bozo had actually delivered the weed. So, you're both busted, charged with possession with intent to distribute and a felon in possession of a firearm. Everybody hates cops until they get a gun pulled on them in the middle of a pot deal gone bad. I said it several times last week. Birds of a feather flock together and idiots run in a wad. Well, here we've got 2 of them. And that is your bozo news of the day. How about we take a look at the latest study? I'm all about keeping you informed on the latest studies and research and all of that good stuff. Well, are you a cat owner? Are you a cat lover? Do you have the old feline parading around your house? We have one, and she just goes wherever she wants to, whenever she wants to. Like, I go days without seeing the cat, right? I can always tell when someone's forgotten to feed her. That's when the cat comes to find me. But anyway, I digress. Researchers say that you can improve the sour mood of your cat by making him or her solve food puzzles. Now, Amazon has some special food bowls that make your pet, think a little instead of just eating. But here's my question. How do you know if the cat's in a sour mood or not? It always looks like it's annoyed with you, right? I don't know why we even have cats. Ours, like I say, it disappears, it eats, you clean the litter box, and, it waits till the middle of the night and runs laps through the house like a horse. Does anybody else have a cat like that? Like after midnight, it's like gremlins. It transforms into a tiger. You hear chairs turn over, things fall off the counter, and then you get up the next morning and the cat's like hidden somewhere or on her big throne. But I never know if she's she always looks like she's in a sour mood. I'll tell you a food puzzle I'm going to see if she can figure out is how to get her food from that little bin into her bowl. I'm sure that will help her mood. Oh, and there's some research for the day that you just could not live without. No happy birthdays this morning. If it's your birthday, happy birthday to you. But as far as country music, I don't have any on the old list today, but I do have this bit of country music news. It seems that Jelly Roll is putting his mental health first during his weight loss journey. So Jelly Roll, he's trying to do a little bit better. Take off some poundage. In an interview with Fox News Digital on the 2023 CMA Awards red carpet, the country music star explained that he's prioritizing his happiness and doesn't have a specific weight loss goal that he's working toward. He said, I don't even have a goal when it comes to health. I just want to keep doing the right thing and feeling better. I'm starting to find a will to live, and I want to lean into that. That's it. I just want to be happier. I think that's important. If you're trying to lose weight, trying to get a little healthier, I know some will tell you, set a goal. But to me, if you set a goal and you keep missing it, it just, you get discouraged and quit. But if your goal is just to keep doing better and feeling better a little at a time, that's more manageable. But good for Jelly Roll. I mean, you look at him, buddy needs to drop a few pounds. So we'll see. Who knows? He may be one of these cats that, in 5 years we look back and say, I can't believe he was really that big. But I think he needs to be careful. Some folks, they overdo it. It's okay to be a little big-boned, but don't overdo it, Jelly Roll. Well, that's going to do it for the old Travinator in hour one, but don't you fret, dear friends. We still have 2 full hours to go. Coming up in hour number 2, we will have political chaos from around the world, and you can bet that Donnie T's probably going to be mentioned at some point. Also, more of your favorite country music hits, and don't forget, hour 2, we always kick off with the 389 Country Gospel Praise Worship, whatever you want to call it, Spotlight. I'll be back in 3 minutes. Don't you go anywhere. Text a friend. Tell them to tune in to 389 Country.
You are listening to 389 Country Internet Radio.
The Yellow Jackets know a good game plan is the key to success. That also applies to Graves Directional Drilling. Graves Directional Drilling's planning for your project includes site evaluation, project development, design development, site logistics, safety programs, quality control, and materials. So whether you need trenching or directional drilling done on your site, you can be confident in Graves Directional Drilling's plan for your victory. Give Stephen a call at 706-897-0374.
This is the Morning Buzz.
Welcome back, Buzzers. Your buddy Trav on the radio. Thanks so much for tuning in to hour 2 of the Morning Buzz right here on 389 Country on a Monday morning. Yep, Monday. But hey, Thanksgiving is quickly approaching. I don't know if y'all have looked at a calendar lately. Y'all, it's like next week. Our Friendsgiving thing is this coming weekend. They were talking about it over the weekend. We all got together to watch the Georgia game, as we usually do. Go Dogs. And they were talking about Friendsgiving, and I'm like, when is that? And they're like, next Saturday. I'm like, wait, why is it next Saturday? Why is it not, around Thanksgiving time? Well, it is around Thanksgiving time. So anyway, I don't know what got me off on that. Coming up in hour 2, you can expect political chaos from around the world. And, of course, more of your favorite country music hits. But as we do every day in hour 2, we begin by connecting to Jesus. Because we need to talk to Jesus before we talk politics. Here is today's 389 Country Gospel Spotlight.
Broadcasting live from Trump Towers.
Wait a minute.
Now, hear this.
How about a little Donnie T news for you? Trump over the weekend was at UFC. Man, he loves it, doesn't he? He comes out. Here's his entourage. You've got Trump, Dana White, the president of the UFC, Tucker Carlson, and Kid Rock. And they come out. He has his own intro like the fighters do. And he comes out to one of Kid Rock's songs about American donkeys or something like that. If you know, you know. And the place just goes wild, by the way. Well, of course it does. Those Neanderthals that have gathered to watch each other beat each other senseless. Of course they would love Trump. But anyway, over the weekend, he was asked by Clay Travis. He straight up asked Donald Trump if he would consider running with Tucker Carlson as his VP in 2024. And Trump said, I like Tucker a lot. I guess I would consider him. He's got great common sense. Yeah, so obviously Trump's not committing to anything right now, but he's also smart enough not to rule anything out because he knows that Tucker has a huge following over on X and you know, watches him nightly. I guess it's nightly. I don't know. You can tell I really tune in. Now, there's a large section of the right that would love that choice for vice president. And Trump knows it would make everyone on the left, it would make their head explode, right? No! So he may pick Tucker just for that, just to annoy the left. So we'll see if it actually happens, but Trump didn't rule it out. What do you think? Trump Carlson ticket in 2024. Let me know if that excites you. You can email me, 389country@gmail.com. Go to 389country.com, click on the chat button, and that connects you directly to me. Trump Carlson 2024. How do you feel? Well, dialing up some political chaos. No one is buying U.S. debt anymore, but the federal government keeps on spending. I'll go ahead and tell you, this does not bode well for us as a country. At some point, if you max out all your credit cards, the lenders will stop sending you new ones. That's the way it works. Now, when that happens, not only does the spending spree end, but you either have to pay off your debt or you have to declare bankruptcy if you're unable to pay. I declare bankruptcy. If you know, you know. Now, considering that our government charged $1.5 trillion to the credit card over just the last 4 months, and another $1.5 trillion over the next 6 months, you have to wonder when the credit will run out. And there are signs that that is indeed on its way. From the story, yesterday the federal government issued 30-year treasuries to quickly borrow $24 billion. Yep. I need a small loan. How much do you need? $24 billion. All right, we'll get on that. Our usual lenders, China, Japan, Saudi Arabia, and Russia, well, they didn't show up to get in on that. And 25% of the debt had to be bought by the primary dealers on Wall Street, the buyers of last resort, basically, okay? Now, of course, they demand a bigger yield on investment than foreign governments do, meaning we'll be paying more interest. How? Well, through your taxes. And even with the bigger yield, those dealers are saying that there's no way they can keep backing the volume of debt that the government wants to borrow. You can't keep borrowing money when it's not there to borrow. Plus, who wants to buy bonds today if the yield is going to be higher tomorrow, right? Which is exactly the problem causing banks like Silicon Valley to go under. They're stuck holding 30-year bonds that they should have been able to liquidate at face value, but nobody wants them because new bonds are going to have higher yield. So the safe bond market, where most retirees were told to put their 401ks, and other investments after 65, it's on track for its third consecutive year of losses. Something that has never happened before. Bidenomics. It's working. You can't just keep borrowing money. I mean, we've got to the point where our lenders are saying, no, China's saying, we're not going to give you more money. Maybe that's what it's going to take for the government to stop spending it. No. What will they do? They'll raise taxes. Do it for the good of your country. I got a suggestion for you, Joe, that you could do for the good of our country, but I won't say it. You know, somebody get Dave Ramsey on the phone. More political chaos on the phone lines this morning. Now, once again, demonstrating that LGBT ideology is affecting everything all the time, everywhere. The U.S. government now wants to start asking your kids about sexuality before they're even old enough to drive. From the story, the U.S. Census Bureau is under fire for embracing progressive ideology around gender and sexuality and pushing for taxpayers' dollars to fund it. U.S. Senators Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance sent a letter to the U.S. Census Bureau Director Robert Santos, calling on him to rescind its plan to incorporate a gender identity and sexuality questions to the American Community Survey, which goes to more than 3.5 million Americans each year. The revised survey would ask about both a respondent's sex assigned at birth as well as his or her current gender. Americans as young as 15 would receive those questionnaires. As young as 15. But don't worry, the Bureau's taking big, important steps to make sure that they properly word the question. In its fiscal year 2023 budget request to Congress, the Census Bureau requested $10 million to study how best to word a question for the survey asking Americans about their gender identity. We just talked about we're out of money, we're in debt over our head, and we're in so much debt nobody will let us get into more debt, and we're spending $10 million of your money to study the best way to word a question about your gender. I got it right here. Give me $10. Are you male or female? Well, it's complicated. Well, you're neither. You're out. Whatever the survey is, if you can't figure out if you're male or female, we don't need your input on this survey. Out. I wouldn't even trust you to be one of the ones on Family Feud that surveyed. We surveyed 100 people. I don't really identify as a person. You out. $10 million to figure out how to ask your kids if they're a pansexual, gender fluid unicorn. Your tax dollars at work, America. I just... I need something in here to punch.
This is the Morning Buzz.
Jackie Jones. A better solution for basic vehicle service has come to the mountains. Quick Lane at Jackie Jones Ford Hayesville is your go-to place for routine auto maintenance for all vehicle makes and models. Get extraordinary service from expert technicians and take advantage of our low-price tire guarantee at Jackie Jones Ford Hayesville and jjfordhayesville.com.
This is the Morning Buzz.
Back to political chaos we go. People want a trans actor to play Princess Zelda in a new live-action movie because, it's 2023 and we can't have nice things. From the story, the film, with financing from Sony Pictures Entertainment as well as its own investment, will be directed by Wes Ball, the American director of the upcoming Planet of the Apes film. I feel like we've had Planet of the Apes. It's being co-produced by Nintendo and Arad Productions, which is behind the live-action Spider-Man films, and headed by Avi Arad. But then, as for who will be playing the beloved Princess Zelda, fans are calling for Hunter Schafer to take on the role, citing her appearance and acting prowess as the perfect combination for such a famous video game character. Hunter Schafer is known for her role in Euphoria, as well as the upcoming film The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Well, you got to ruin everything. Now, you may have picked up there, Hunter Schafer is not, in fact, a woman. Hunter Schafer is a man. He's radically transformed himself into a facsimile of a woman. Why? Why do we have to? Why? Why can we not? Women, where are you? Where are you saying, why can we not have a strong woman play the role of a strong woman? Why does it have to be a man pretending to be a woman to play the role of a strong woman? Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and say majority of people who want to see Zelda as a movie, they probably won't have a problem with this. It doesn't matter to me who plays them. I'm not going, but we have to. We have to. It's a law now. If you have a movie or TV show, you have to have at least one transgender character in it, and they have to be the hero. They can't be, the quirky friend. Nope, they have to be the star of the show. Most of the time, the way this works, I read a story to you, and I kind of break it down, my thoughts, my opinion, or just try to point stuff out to you. Then we have some stories where I don't really even know what to say, so I'm just going to present this one to you, and we'll go from there. Walmart announced they are welcoming back sensory-friendly shopping hours in all stores across the country. The retailer tested a more inclusive shopping experience over the summer by creating a less stimulating environment for a couple of hours each Saturday. During the back-to-school season, TV walls were changed to a static image, radios were turned off, and lights were lowered where possible. Walmart says, we're taking steps to make our stores more inclusive for those with sensory disabilities, bringing back our sensory-friendly shopping hours from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. local time every day in all Walmart U.S. stores in Puerto Rico starting November 10th. They have no planned end date. During these hours, we hope our customers and associates will find the stores to be a little easier on the eyes and ears, a release said. These changes are thanks to those who shared their feedback on how their stores could help them feel like they belong. What about those of us who see a TV that's on static and say, hey, somebody needs to fix that. Somebody needs to fix that. Hey, this TV's static. Hey, you need to turn the antenna. We got static over here. What about those of us? Here's my thing. I get it, because there are people, on the autism scale or whatever that they get sensory overload. But here's my biggest question. Do you really think Saturday morning's the best time to try to keep things calm at Walmart? Have y'all ever gone on a Saturday morning? Sometimes I go just to watch. You don't have to buy a ticket or anything. You just walk in and watch. I mean, over at the Frozen Chicken Fingers, you got a fist fight. Go to the baby diapers, there's women pulling hair and just throwing boxes of diapers, hoping it hits their cart. Go back to the hunting section, and you can't find a fishing lure because there's little kids running everywhere, throwing them at each other. Every now and then, a soccer ball fly over top of you. And you really think not having the radio on and static on the TV is going to calm people down that have sensory overload issues? Maybe we need to rethink when we do this, Walmart. Now, I didn't even know that Kmart was still a thing, but apparently in Australia it is. And somebody wasn't thinking. These Kmart stores in Australia probably had zero idea that this hilarious Mary Hammus bag, and unfortunately punny bag, meant for storing ham in the fridge, would get them into trouble. But one look at the bag and you'll figure out why they're pulling it from their shelves. It's a nice, little bag, drawstring bag, and it's got the traditional Christmas colors, red and green, and it says Mary Ham Mass. But it looks like Mary Hamas. Yep. Mary Hamas from all of us at Kmart. Don't forget to search our kids section for ammunition. That's what somebody wrote. We got some great deals back there. If you're looking for firearms themselves, you'll have to head to the pharmacy and they'll help you out. Y'all, now look, it does look like Mary Hamas, but there's a hyphen and the mass is below it. To me, you're making everybody mad, right? Because it looks like Mary Hamas. Plus, the Christians, look, you took Christ out and replaced it with ham. Right? So you're not going to make anybody happy with this. This is just a bad idea anyway. And second, why do you need a bag to put your ham in the refrigerator? Am I missing out on something? Anybody know? They don't have aluminum foil, I guess, in Australia. I don't know. And you know what? I just realized Hamas would be offended, too, that you're connecting them with Christmas. This is just a bad idea all around. Merry Hamas. Yeah, you got to be careful how you say that, too. I just realized that. Somebody think that you're talking bad about them. Well, that's going to do it for hour number 2, but don't you fret, dear friends. We still have a full hour to go. Coming up in hour number 3, we got chaotic news from around the world, more of your favorite country music songs, the BK Concrete Connection Racing Report, and, of course, the crazy news story of the day. Text a friend, tell them to tune in. Thanks for listening to 389 Country.
You are listening to 389 Country Internet Radio.
Hey y'all, it's Elise from Rusty Walsh Chevrolet. It's football time and you know that's the best time to buy a car.
Whether it's a new truck, car, SUV, or certified pre-owned, we've got what you're looking for.
And all new vehicles come with our exclusive 7-year, 200,000-mile warranty.
Also, choose from Fords, Hondas, Toyotas, Nissans, Chevrolets, and more. Find new roads to RustyWallaceChevrolet.com.
Where Chevys cost less.
This is the Morning Buzz.
Welcome back, Buzzers. Your buddy Trav on the radio. Thanks for tuning in to the Morning Buzz, hour 3 on a Monday morning. I really do appreciate it. Hope your morning is going well. Mine's been fine. It's been just a normal Monday, but it's always better when I can spend Monday morning with y'all. Coming up in hour number 3, we've got chaotic news from around the world, including the crazy news story of the day. Also, we've got more of your favorite country music hits, the BK Concrete Connection Racing Report, and a little story I'm just calling Bird Brain. But first, we get things rolling. How about with a little music? What do you say? Raise your hand if you agree. The ayes have it. Here we go. How about a little chaotic news for you? The Fairfax County Police Department spent 3 months catching up with Hector Eduardo Rios. Now, why were they looking for Hector Eduardo Rios? Well, he's Virginia's notorious bird bandit. You wouldn't think he would be particularly hard to find. The dude dresses like a pirate on a Hawaiian vacation with 3 parrots that ride around on top of his head and shoulders, you know, like a pirate would. Rios and his parrots were wanted for robbing people at knife point at a McDonald's. They then took their ill-gotten gains to a convenience store next door to buy some snackies. We're going to McDonald's. Parrots, they're on my shoulders. We're going to rob people at McDonald's and then go get snackies. I suppose with the Caribbean seas, you know, a little more than a tourist trap these days, a pirate has to secure his sea biscuits and spirits somehow, right? I'll have some rum. Now that the police have bothered to arrest him, Rios has been charged with robbery and is being held without bond. Yeah, you wouldn't think it would take 3 months to find a guy riding around with parrots all over him. You think that the cops got the parrots to turn on him? He did it. Now, I'm never one to condone thievery, right? However, I do feel like some things are more understandable than others. Texas cops arrest 2 men with backseat full of stolen meat. Times is hard. Bidenomics is working, you know? So, this could have been worse. I would hate to know these 2 guys in Texas, nonetheless, got stopped with a backseat full of stolen asparagus, you know? From the story, a standard traffic stop in Cypress Wednesday led to police seizing more than $1,000 of stolen raw meats. Houston area men Anthony Trevino and Robert Stevenson were arrested Wednesday after a sergeant conducting the traffic stop at the block of Northwest Freeway noticed a large amount of unbagged meat packages in the back seat of the vehicle. So, you got to give it to the cops' instinct here. The police lay eyes on a large amount of unbagged meat products. They just knew something was up. Wait a minute. Turns out the meats were stolen from the H-E-B, Walmart, Foodtown, and Kroger stores, according to court documents. Man, they've been busy. Here's pictures. They got all kinds of, there's beef tips. I think these meatballs I'm seeing here, some steaks. and oxtail. What are you going to do with that oxtail? Open a Jamaican restaurant or something? I'll pass for that. As for the crooks, their bonds were set at $2,500 each, and under their bond conditions, Trevino and Stevenson are ordered to have no contact with the 4 stores. You think? This was going to hit the old resale market, right? This wasn't for self-consumption. Who eats oxtail? Do you eat oxtail? Let me know. 389country@gmail.com. Note to self, if you're ever in Australia, don't just grab things, because it's not the same down there as it is here. What am I talking about? Well, an Australian hiker found what he thought was a diamond python and brought it home to show his kids. Unfortunately, the hiker forgot the number 1 rule of the outback, y'all. Everything in Australia wants to kill you. Turns out the diamond python was actually a venomous broad-headed snake. I guess they look similar. Let's see, broad-headed snake. Yep, they do look similar. But here's the best way, don't grab any of them. The best way to tell the difference is to leave them both the heck alone. Exactly. Since the hiker didn't follow best practices, he picked up the snake, brought it home, and then the broad-headed snake did precisely what God designed it to do. It tried to kill the hiker by biting his hand right in front of his horrified children. Next thing he knew, his hand was swelling and he was vomiting. Yeah, at that point he probably realized I made a huge mistake. Being Australian, he realized that and was rushed to the hospital, where they managed to save his life. The bewildered snake was retrieved by Ray McGibbon, a snake expert and catcher who returned it to its habitat. If you see a snake or any reptile in the wild, admire it in its own habitat, McGibbon wrote. Take photos or video, and please do not try and capture it or take it home. This is a learning curve for all. Well, you could do that, or you could do what normal civilized people do when they encounter a snake in the wild. Run away, or try to find the nearest shovel or hoe. I'm cutting that thing's head off. No, don't. I would like to load it up and take it back to my children. Well, you do that there, Sonny.
This is the Morning Buzz.
Hey, can you hear me? So can potential customers. 389 Country has partnership packages for any size business and any budget. We want to help you get your name out there without breaking the bank. We offer audio, display, and video opportunities. Email us at 389country@gmail.com and let us start working on your ad campaign today.
This is the Morning Buzz.
Time now for the crazy news story of the day, y'all. This just, you should be proud of the youth in America. 23-year-old Lyric Wynn of Lock Haven, Pennsylvania, has finally received a prison sentence after 6 arrests over the past 2 years, including 1 arrest after breaking into the police station to find the illegal drugs that police had seized from him. I can't imagine why young Lyric is not the CEO of some major company. Well, it wasn't exactly your typical kind of prison break, and it also wasn't successful. On the plus side, he made the police job very easy by coming to them to be arrested in that case. I doubt he showed them the same courtesy the other 5 times, don't you? What a great court system we have. In his court hearing on Tuesday, Wynn petitioned Clinton County President Judge Craig P. Miller to receive time served as a nonviolent offender. The local DA, Dave Strauss, arguing on behalf of the people of Pennsylvania, had some strong words against that, saying, "The defendant has been given every benefit of the doubt. This is the same guy who tried to burglarize a police department to get his drugs back. Enough is enough. At this point, he has earned a state prison sentence." Judge Miller agreed with the DA in this case, as he went on to sentence the repeat offender to a minimum sentence of 17 months and potentially up to 8 years as a result of his brazen disregard for the law. I know everybody could mess up. Any of us. You could roll through a stop sign today, hit somebody, God forbid, you hit somebody, kill them, and next thing you know, you're spending the night in jail charged with vehicular homicide or negligence or something like that, right? But in that case, we need to work with you. But this guy, this is why people just keep doing stuff, because they get 6 times he was arrested and once was trying to break into the police department. I've got no pity on him. But that is today's crazy news of the day. Headline once again, Pennsylvania man served prison time for breaking into police station to retrieve his seized drugs. Only in America, y'all. Well, just in case you were thinking that, 2 wars, brink of World War III, inflation through the roof, fentanyl crisis, southern border open, just when you thought that you could handle all of that, let me give you this. Get ready to be a little more alarmed at the world in general, because now they got something called vampire viruses. Yay! From the story, scientists have observed vampire viruses for the first time, pathogens that latch onto other viruses in order to replicate themselves. Wouldn't that be a zombie? Anyway, researchers have known for decades in theory that some viruses prey on other viruses, unlike most that self-replicate. Now, under a microscope, a team of researchers in Maryland has watched this process that involves a satellite and helper virus. So, this is never the kind of scientific discovery you want to celebrate. Am I right? You discover a cure for cancer, great. Crack the solution for gravitational propulsion, eureka, right? We got it. Observe a vampire virus under a microscope? Yeah, no thanks. I'm gonna pass on that. Scientists discovered that the satellite viruses contain a gene that allows them to integrate into the host cell's genetic material after they enter the cell. This enables the satellite to reproduce whenever a helper enters the cell from then on, as well as the host cell copies the satellite's DNA and its own when it divides. Now, who knows where this could lead? Can we use vampires to destroy nasty pathogens before said pathogens make a meal out of us? I don't know. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that we're going to try to develop it into a weapon of some sort, let it leak out of a lab, and blame a poor old bat. Well, an Australian woman woke up on Saturday to find out she'd been hit with a triple murder charge pursuant to a deadly meal she reportedly served earlier this year. You may have heard about this. It was in all the papers. From the story, Australian police have brought murder charges against a woman who served a lunch earlier this year that led to the deaths of 3 people from suspected death cap mushroom poisoning. Victoria police confirmed a 49-year-old woman was charged with 3 counts of murder and 5 counts of attempted murder after being arrested in connection with the case on Thursday morning. The woman, identified as 49-year-old Erin Patterson, allegedly served a beef Wellington made in late July to her former parents-in-law and her mother-in-law's sister and husband. A few days later, her former in-laws and former mother-in-law's sister were all dead, while a 4th diner reportedly needed a liver transplant. Now, she denied having intentionally poisoned anyone, claiming she was devastated to think that these mushrooms may have contributed to the illness suffered by my loved ones. Now, that's all. It sounds all fine and good, but here's the thing. I just want to point out here that she was the only one at the meal who didn't get sick. I think it may have been on purpose. What do you think? Well, just like that, that's going to do it for the old Travanator. Thanks so much for spending a little time with me this morning. I do appreciate it. Make sure to keep a check on 389country.com throughout the day for news you can use. Always new, always free. And keep us on, as we are the perfect soundtrack to your day. Josh David coming up at the top of the hour. I told him I wouldn't tell, so I'm not going to tell you what he's starting to show off with, but it's worth sticking around. He'll take you all the way up to lunch at noon when John and Heidi take over. Take you to 3 o'clock, and then Cindy Scott take you to quitting time. That's a look at my day ahead. I hope you have a great day. I'll be back with you bright and early tomorrow morning. Same bat time, same bat channel. We'll do it all again. Plus, 2 for Tuesday, double shots from your favorite country music artist. Until we meet again, dear friend, remember, wrestling's real, politicians are fake. Have a great Monday, if that's possible.
You are listening to 389 Country Internet Radio.